Enigma is a word that describes a person or thing that is mysterious or difficult to understand. Such is the case for polarizing Miami rapper SPACEGHOSTPURRP, whose unorthodox approach to music and unpredictable character receives both respect and contempt by his peers. In my last video, I explored Purrp's personality, early life, and first two mixtapes, NASA and Blackline Radio. In this episode, I hope to clear up some of the misconceptions surrounding this mysterious figure, while continuing on from my previous video by investigating Purrp's relationship and falling out with ASAP Mob, mainstream success and sudden downfall. After establishing himself as a unique voice in the changing landscape of hip-hop in early 2011 with Blackline Radio, and casting a diverse group of artists to his crew Rated Clan, Rolly announced that he was working on 4 new mixtapes, including Mind of Purrp, Trilluminati, Black Murdoch, and a collaboration with Mishka New York City titled Son of I. While none of these tapes ended up seeing the light of day, Rolly began to focus on his collaborative efforts with fellow rappers Speak and Memphis rap pioneer Juicy J. Around the same time, the late ASAP Yams, who discovered Purrp's music through his connection with Rated Clan member Matt Stoops, invited Rolly to work with ASAP Mob in New York. Purrp and Rocky grew a strong bond, resulting in various successful collaborations and live performances. The legendary ASAP Worldwide and Rated Clan Stash House freestyles made their way onto the internet around the same time, and show Rocky and the rest of ASAP Mob embracing Purrp and his style. Despite being New York rappers, ASAP Mob began to incorporate the chopped and screwed sound of Houston rap and the dark sound associated with Purrp and Memphis rappers. You can also see the American flag used in the Live Love ASAP mixtape in the background of these videos. The two performed together in New York in October, just before the release of Live Love ASAP, and can be seen vibing with each other's energy. It is also rumoured that Drake was in the crowd at this event and had an interest in signing Rated Clan to OVO. On the 31st of October, Rocky released his debut mixtape, Live Love ASAP, which featured guest vocals from Purrp on Purple Swag Chapter 2, as well as production and vocals on the track Keep It G, aka London Blues. Many Purrp fans will argue that the success of this mixtape was mostly due to Purrp's influence, which can be seen in the occult imagery, all black outfits, Rated Clan hieroglyphics, grills, and overall swagger in his videos that Rocky definitely wasn't hip to before meeting Purrp. While I agree that Purrp had a huge impact on the tape, Yam's influence and Clams Casino's production was also a big factor, as well as Rocky's charisma, flow, and ability to market himself. Purrp's popularity steadily grew throughout 2011, with the release of various singles from The God of Black and his features and production on Juicy J's mixtape, Blue Dream and Lean, and Wiz Khalifa's Taylor Alderdice. After heading back to Miami in 2012, Purrp produced and featured on Denzel Curry's second mixtape, King of the Mischievous South Volume 1, with the track Rated Clan Funk, featuring the legendary Ruben Slick.
Up on the motherfucking beat, trying to do this shit, walking down the street with the black trench coat, and I'm coming at your fucking throat. When I play these games, my nigga, just know I'm not the lane, spitting on the motherfucking phone for the listeners. You already know these bitches ain't missing us, they kissing us.
Purrp also featured on the track Mink Rug, with fellow Miami art collective Metro Zoo.
I don't don't give a fuck, I don't trust a nigga. Gotta get to the cash, rolling fast. Got my hand on the ass when I'm counting that cash. Nigga, SG to the P, nigga, MAC, Mac name perp. Then I'm representing pimp to the C. R.I.P. to the S.C. R.E. to the dub. Already know, nigga, throwing that dub. Right there, smoked out in the strip club.
Later in the year, Rolly signed a one-off recording contract with British indie label 4AD. The label was mostly known for releasing alternative rock, post-punk, gothic rock, and dream pop albums. Some popular releases include Bauhaus's In the Flat Field, Cocteau Twins' Head Over Heels, and This Mortal Coil's It'll End in Tears. While Perp is classified as a hip-hop artist, his embrace of rock influences and atmospheric sounds made him the perfect fit. He began working on an album with the label, and in his March interview with Thrasher, he outlines his intentions for the project.
Yeah, low-key, but the best thing that's gonna come out right now is re-releasing my old shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything remastered, you know, let people really hear who I am, music-wise, like, remastering the sounds, the vocals, and everything. Blackland, NASA tape, everything that was lo-fi is gonna be remastered and, you know what I'm saying, full effect, like it was just made, you know what I'm saying, this year.
On the 12th of June, Perp's first album, Mysterious Funk, Chronicles of SPACEGHOSTPURRP, was released under the 4AD label, containing mostly remixed tracks from Blackland Radio and the God of Black mixtape. The 14-track album received mixed reviews with an average score of 69% on Metacritic, a 5 out of 10 from The Needle Drop, and a surprisingly favourable review from Ian Cohen of Pitchfork, who gave the album an 8 out of 10, stating, "Even if these tracks aren't familiar to you from previous mixtapes, each assets itself largely with the same qualities that have defined 4AD's roster since the beginning. Mesmerizing use of reverb and negative space, hooks derived from phonetic and rhythmic qualities of words rather than their meaning, and constructions of alternative realities." The tape ushered in a new style and diverged from Perp's Memphis roots to deliver a more unique, alien-like sound. This can be heard through the sounds of hell, as well as the use of porn samples throughout the project, which create an unsettling atmosphere. This atmosphere paints a vivid picture of being taken hostage and drugged with disassociatives in a seedy alien strip club beneath the Earth's crust. My favourite tracks from this tape include Mystical Maze, Osiris of the East, and Suck a Dick 2012. Unfortunately, I can't preview any of these tracks due to copyright, but you can easily find this album online and have a look for yourself. The only real disappointing thing about this tape is the Bean Fuego remaster, which sounds dull in comparison with the original. While I do enjoy this album, I think most fans will agree that it falls short of Blackland Radio's lo-fi atmosphere. However, Perp proves with this release that he is a versatile artist who is more than capable of releasing a solid studio album. While things were looking promising for both Rocky and Perp's careers, tensions between the two were starting to become apparent after a heckler at Rocky's show was bashed by Perp and members of ASAP Mob. Months later, the victim decided to press charges, but Perp was back in Miami, visiting his friends and family. As a result, members of ASAP accused Perp of running from the police, despite being unaware of any legal issues.
He was straight up with you. Some nigga was in his ear saying, "I'm hiding from the police." I said, "Fool." I called his phone, I said, "Fool, how the fuck I'm hiding from the police when I told you I was gonna turn myself in?"
Marquis was also feeling the pressure to sign to Rocky's label, but decided to decline, which caused things to escalate further. The two groups began to beef on Twitter, but out of nowhere things would take a turn for the worst when Raider Clan member Matt Stoops was jumped by ASAP 12 at a party in New York. While Perp and 12 were never on good terms, this event came as a huge shock to Marquis, as he had shown nothing but love to Rocky and the rest of the mob prior to the beef. This resulted in Perp taking to Twitter to rant in his usual manner. Now it's important to step back for a second and analyse Perp's character and intentions as an artist and why he reacted the way he did. It's quite clear to anyone familiar with the Miami scene that Marquis wanted nothing but the best for his team. He truly cared for everyone in the clan, and wanted everyone to succeed, including ASAP Mob. This event was Perp's first exposure to the shadiness of the record industry, and wasn't the last. After confronting Rocky over the phone to understand the Matt Stoops situation, Rocky told Perp to fuck off. I can only imagine how this would have affected Perp's mental health, and considering how strong of a betrayal this was. Not to mention, Rocky and Perp had already had tension in the past over other petty issues, which I'm not going to get into due to a lack of decisive information. After receiving the news about Matt Stoops, Perp took to Twitter with a series of tweets that made him look like a bitter lunatic, and in June a video was posted to the internet with the Raided Clan standing in formation, announcing the departure from ASAP Mob affiliation.
Tell y'all niggas like this, you feel me? This Raided Clan, these my niggas. This ain't no acting, this ain't no Hollywood shit, man. We all on some laid back shit. We all been through shit, you feel me? So all that fake ass gangster shit that y'all niggas doing, y'all niggas kill that shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause the nigga ain't on that, bruh. And the nigga ain't with ASAP, bruh. Nigga never was with them niggas. I was affiliated with them niggas back in the day. I showed all them niggas love like a real nigga fool. And you know what I'm saying? All that fuck shit happened after that. But until then, nigga, these my niggas right here, my nigga don't ride with my niggas, fool. Fuck all that fake shit that y'all fuck niggas on. Straight up.
Despite the falling out with the ASAP Mob, SGP continued to have success with his music, featuring on Domo Genesis and Alchemist's No Idols, and Freddie Gibbs' Kush Cloud. Marquise also announced an upcoming project with Odd Future, who had been supporting him since the release of Blackline Radio. However, this project never saw the light of day. A few months after the Matt Stoops incident, Rocky would disrespect Perp by performing in the city of Miami along with Schoolboy Q in November of 2012. The security at this event was super tight, and Perp was banned from the show and venue due to the tension between him and Rocky. This didn't stop him from waiting in the car park with other members of the Raided Clan by his side. During the event, Rocky can be seen responding to Perp's fans in the audience and would go on to disrespect Marquise by closing the show with the track Pretty Flocko. After the show had commenced, Schoolboy Q spotted Perp and the clan waiting by the fence at the car park and notified the police. But before the police arrived, ASAP Bari jumped the fence to take the hit for Rocky, while other members of ASAP Mob watched. Rob Banks and his affiliate Dooney landed the majority of the hits, along with assistance from Soulja Mook and Harvey G. After a short scuffle, shots were fired and the fight was broken up. The police then arrested Perp, while the rest of the Raided Clan fled the scene. At the time, Bari was a bit of a nobody in comparison to Rocky, and had not yet established his status within the group. He would later go on to become an idol within the hypebeast scene, with his Stolen V-Loan project, and have a great deal of success in his career. But the events in Miami would stick with him forever, resulting in a deep resentment towards Perp that would cause issues in the future. The clan would also fight ASAP Mob in New York at a later date, but I don't know enough information about these events to talk about them. Shortly after the incident in Miami, Perp made the announcement that he was done with rap and wanted to focus on beats. However, in December of the same year, BMW the mixtape was released. Many supporters consider this Perp's peak and the best tape within his discography. While I personally disagree with this idea, I do thoroughly enjoy many of these tracks. The tape is highly refined and builds upon the sound and style of Mysterious Funk and Blackline, with its mystic feeling and sludgy atmosphere that is best exemplified with the title track BMW, which lays a siren with distorted and incomprehensible vocal samples and an off-kilter trap drum pattern. Marquise uses these dissonant sounds throughout the tape to create a feeling of dread and spookiness, which is emphasized by his vocal delivery and unapologetic, hedonistic themes within his lyrics. This mixtape indicated Perp's entry back into the underground with a much less accessible sound than his previous releases. My three favourite tracks from the tape include BMW, Pull Up, and Come and Get You Some. But I must warn you that this tape is very sexual and perverted in its themes, and can get a little bit disturbing at times, which is exactly what Marquise was going for. As 2013 came along, Perp started to step back into the shadows, and was releasing less music than what his fans were used to. His popularity was starting to die down just at the wrong time, and other members of Raider Clan were getting much bigger. This resulted in Ethel Wolf, Denzel Curry, Eddie Baker, and Chris Travis leaving the group to pursue solo careers. Wolf explains in the last track of his Damesh Shizukani mixtape that he had a clique that didn't want to keep it real, most likely referring to Raider Clan, and the personal issues he was having with Perp. With many of the greatest artists from Raider Clan leaving, the group's popularity started to dwindle. As a result, the clan's first collaborative album, Tales from the Underground, ended up flopping. Winter's Mind also dropped in 2013 and is one of SGP's best instrumental projects. Some of my favourite beats on the tape include Alizé, Deep, and Winter's Mine. Unfortunately, Perp's dark southern style was losing its popularity due to the changing dynamic of the underground scene. At the time, artists such as Young Lean, Bones, and Black Cray were opting for lighter and more dreamy soundscapes as opposed to the dark and sinister sound of Perp's music. Vaporwave was also getting extremely big, and the two genres were starting to blend together, an idea that SGP had explored years prior with his NASA mixtape. When BMW 2, Intoxicated, dropped in 2014, it wasn't well received at all, due to its obscurity, and even Perp's own fanbase started to turn their backs on him. Back in New York, things were looking good for ASAP Mob, with Rocky now being considered a household name, and retaining all the credit for Perp's style amongst hypebeasts. Marquis was clearly bitter about the situation, and took out much of his frustration through his Twitter rants and antics, which further pushed his fans and partners away. With all this in mind, it was pretty clear that Perp had hit rock bottom, and things were not looking good for the future of Raider Clan. The final nail in the coffin came in the form of a beef Marquis had with 11-year-old meme rapper Little Shark. The young rapper took shots at Perp on Twitter and with the diss song as an obvious joke. Marquis made the fatal mistake of taking the beef seriously, responding to Shark's comments with extremely distasteful tweets that demonstrated his lack of maturity. It was pretty obvious Shark's brother was behind the scenes helping him formulate his responses, and at the height of the so-called beef, Perp's website was hacked with a link to Shark's mixtape. I remember this being a viral story around the time, with various blogs posting about the topic. The news spread quickly, and Marquis was the laughingstock of the internet. At this point, no one really took Perp seriously, and all hope was lost. But Perp's story doesn't end here.